This video is brought to you by EXPRESSVPN. So you've heard that JetBlue has a swanky new business class Mint cabin, and you want to book a flight to check it out. But you're not sure whether you should book the Studio Suite or the regular Mint Suite. Our family recently flew JetBlue Mint in both types of suites. So in this video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of each, so you can decide which one will work best for you. Hey, welcome back to Top Flight Family. My name is Carmen Sognonvi. Our family recently flew the brand new Mint cabin from LAX to JFK. My husband Serge and I flew in the Studio Suites, while our daughters flew in the regular Mint Suites. If you'd like to see our in-depth review of that flight, and our Q&A video in which I answer all the questions I got from our audience about that flight, I'll link both of those videos below. Now, before I get into comparing the Studio Suite versus the regular Mint Suite, let me first explain the layout of this reconfigured cabin. The old Mint cabin on the Airbus A321 alternates between a 2-2 and a 1-1 configuration, but the new Mint cabin features a 1-1 configuration throughout. You can find these new Mint cabins on the Airbus A321neo between JFK and LAX, and on the Airbus A321LR between JFK and Heathrow. These new London flights just launched in August, so they're an exciting new development from JetBlue. On the Airbus A321neo, which flies between JFK and LAX, you'll find 16 suites in total, with the seats placed in a herringbone arrangement. Every single suite has direct aisle access. The first row of suites, seats 1A and 1B, are the Mint Studio suites. The rest are regular Mint suites. On the Airbus A321LR, which flies to London, the layout is pretty much identical, except that there are 24 suites in total instead of 16. But again, the first row are the Mint Studio suites. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons of the Studio Suites first. The Studio Suite is definitely a pricier option, but there are a lot of pros that makes this really a premium flying experience. Number 1, space. First of all, there's so much more personal space than you get in the regular Mint suites. At 22.7 square feet, this suite now officially has the most space in a premium experience from any US airline. Number 2, companion seat. In the Studio Suite, you get an additional seat for a companion. This is great because you can spend time with your travel partner, or if you're flying alone, you'll have extra space to spread out and an additional table to use for eating or as a workspace. Now keep in mind that your companion cannot sit here during takeoff or landing, so they're still going to need their own seat or suite, but it's a really unique feature of the Studio Suite. Number 3, storage space. There's a ton of storage space in the Studio Suite. You get a locker on the wall and lots of other various storage compartments. So in combination with that extra table and that extra seat, it really does feel like you have tons of space to spread out and put your stuff. Number 4, large TV. The Studio Suites come with a much larger TV screen. The regular Mint Suites on this aircraft have a 17-inch screen, but the Mint Studio Suites have a massive 22-inch screen. It makes for a really immersive viewing experience, which is nice to have for a long flight. It also makes it really easy to watch movies with your travel companion. Number 5, windows. If you really enjoy looking out of the window when you fly, you're gonna love this next feature. Because the Studio Suite is larger than the other suites, you'll actually have not 1, but 2 windows. Number 6, outlets. I always travel with a ton of devices that all need to be charged, and chances are you do too. In the Studio Suite, you'll have 2 universal outlets instead of just the 1 in the regular Mint Suite. That means you never really have to worry about any of your devices running out of juice. Number 7, location. The placement of the Studio Suites within the cabin is another plus. The Studio Suites are in the very first row. So if you like to be the first person off the plane, having a suite right up front ensures that you'll be one of the first to deplane. By the way, if you're new to this channel, we're the Sognonvi family and we live in New York City. There's me, Carmen, my husband Serge, and our daughters Sean and Ella. We work full-time as travel creators, and we're all about inspiring families to explore the world together in comfort and style. We share tips on how you can save time, reduce hassle, and maximize comfort when you travel with kids. If that sounds good to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Our family has set a goal of visiting 21 resorts in 2021. Why resorts? Well, we actually have a whole video that explains that, which I'll link below. I'll also link to our 21 resorts in 2021 playlist so you can check out all the other properties we'll be visiting. So we've talked about the pros of booking a Studio Suite, but are there any cons to the Studio Suites? If so, what are they? Number 1, price. The main drawback of the Studio Suite is, of course, the price. The Studio Suites cost an extra $199 one-way on domestic flights and an extra $299 one-way on international flights. Number 2, location. Now, I know I said earlier that the front row location of the studio suites is actually a pro, but depending on your point of view, it could also be a con. Being that close to the front means that you're very close to the galley and to the bathrooms. So there may be a little bit less privacy when people are passing through or waiting in that area. So those are the pros and cons of the studio suites. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of the regular Mint suites. We'll go over the pros first. Number 1, comfort. Yes, the regular Mint suites aren't quite as spacious as the studio suites, but they're still a great choice. They still offer lots of privacy and comfort, and they also all have direct aisle access, which is a plus. Number 2, large TV. The TVs in the regular Mint suites aren't as large as the ones in the studio suite, but you still get a 17-inch screen all to yourself, which is a very generous size, and it makes the time pass quickly on a long-haul flight. Number 3, price. Obviously, the biggest pro of booking a regular Mint suite over a studio suite is the price. You won't need to pay that extra $199 or $299 fee, so you can put that money towards a nice dinner instead. So those are the pros of a regular Mint suite. Now, what are the cons? Number 1, windows. Because the regular Mint suites are a bit smaller, there's only one window at each seat. You won't have the 2 windows that you get in the studio suite. Number 2, no companion seat. The regular Mint suite unfortunately doesn't come with that nifty companion seat that the studio suite does. You won't have that extra space to spread out or sit with a companion. And also, it's really hard to hold a conversation with anyone during the flight, even with someone directly across the aisle from you, because of the herringbone arrangement of the seats. So if you want to spend time with the person you're traveling with, the regular Mint suite is not the most ideal option. When we travel, we often have to rely on public Wi-Fi networks. It's important to remember that anytime you connect to an unencrypted public Wi-Fi network, there's a risk that hackers can get to your passwords, financial details, or even your emails. That's why we always use EXPRESSVPN when we travel. With a single subscription, you can connect up to 5 devices at the same time, which makes it perfect for families. EXPRESSVPN encrypts your internet connection using the highest standards of encryption currently available. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer billions of years to crack. We've been using EXPRESSVPN for years now, and I always recommend it to everyone. Go to expressvpn.com/topflightfamily and find out how you can get 3 months free. So what type of traveler would find it worthwhile to invest the extra that it costs to book a studio suite? Number 1, aviation enthusiasts. If you really enjoy trying different hard products and soft products on airlines, it's really hard to pass this one up. As I mentioned, the JetBlue Mint Studio Suite is currently the largest premium seat on a US airline. This makes it a really cool experience that you'll want to splurge on if you enjoy anything to do with planes or flying. Number 2, business travelers that need to collaborate. The layout of the studio suite makes it really convenient for business travelers who want to share a private space and collaborate and work together. So if it would be useful for you to be able to spend the flight working with your colleague, practicing a big pitch for example, the studio suite would be a fantastic choice. Number 3, family travelers. In the regular Mint suites, as I've mentioned, you can't really sit together or even talk across the aisle. So if you're traveling with your kids and you'd like to spend the flight together, watching movies and sharing meals, the studio suite will give you lots of space to do that. Number 4, traveling with friends or significant others. Again, regular Mint suites don't really offer much in the way of togetherness. So if you're on a honeymoon or a special trip where you actually want to spend time with a friend or significant other during your flight, the studio suite is the way to go. And that large TV screen is also great for watching movies together. Okay, if you'd like to watch our in-depth review of our flight in the JetBlue Mint Studio Suite, just click that video right there. If you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Top Flight Family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.